It looks like we are back live again. So this is part two of the fourth edition. Had to leave, go meet some family for dinner, and then by the time I got back, realized my phone was needed some charge, and between kind of sharing the screen of my phone and doing stuff on my phone, it uses quite a bit of battery. Probably need to get a new phone at some point. Quick update while he was gone. I noticed so Goblin King had actually put in there as the wrong edition. It was edition 5. Edition 5 was over $10. Fourth edition not over $10, unfortunately. So sadly we haven't had a card over $10 yet. Other kind of weird thing. So Armageddon went down 33 cents while he was gone. Red Elemental Blast, though, went up 30 cents on TCG Player, up 7%. So, which is hilarious since I have 10 copies of that. So, we've gone up $3 for how much I have for 4th edition. Uh, yeah. So, this is a fun little. I like Mana Box, so up $2.67 for 4th edition so far. Um, quite a few cards pulled out, but really it's mostly because there's a lot of cheap cards in here. Anyway, going back to our stream, so we went through white and red so far. Just putting stuff to the side like this for what we have. So we have cards over $1, cards over $5, nothing over $10 yet. At least we'll see if we run into any. We'll go ahead and start going through these cards. If you haven't watched part one, I've gone through kind of what's worth money right now in fourth edition. Talked about that a bit. So, Clockwork Avian, unfortunately, it may be a rare, but it's not a rare. It's worth a lot of money in fourth edition. So, you are going to see number of rares just because, like I've said before, there's no symbol on fourth edition that says, "Hey, this is a rare" or not. So I think Sunglasses of Urza. Well, fourth edition's not worth anything. I want to say revised was. Felwar Stone, I think is though. Right? Yeah. And we have a few copies of that. 3 copies of Felwar Stone. Jade Monolith. Ornithopter, is that in 4th edition? Is that worth something? I know it wasn't revised. It is not in 4th edition. Millstone. Glasses of Urza. We get the sunglasses of Urza and then the glasses of Urza. Neither's worth anything. Curse Drac in 4th edition's not worth anything. Library of Lang. That I was going to say in revised was worth something, so it's also worth something in 4th edition. Not worth a lot. Dollar. So we've crossed $10 so far. Iron Star. I have 2 copies of that. Black Vice was another one that was just over $1 in revised. It's closer to $2 in 4th edition. It kind of makes sense that 4th edition cards I've thought were going to be worth more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wall spears. I've imagined these are going to be worth more just because the printing is just much more consistent and better. Um, Same thing with, as I've said on revised, part of how you can tell the difference between revised and unlimited is this border that's around the edge. It's a single line versus kind of a double line border. It's not really clear on those. It's definitely more clear on. See how it's almost like a beveled edge versus a solid line. Uh, so that's a revised card. Actually, I probably should have seen if this showed up clearly. Yeah, it's just kind of a beveled edge on this corner. Uh, it's just I don't know why it just makes the cards look a lot better. Uh, 2, 3, and I know that was a big complaint that people originally had. Since these did come from Card Hall, every once in a while there's cards that are, a little bit beat up. Uh, it's surprising how well a lot of these cards hold up, considering they've been built into towers and then had coins thrown at them. I pull out the folded cards, but 4, 5, 6, 7, or I should, I don't pick up the folded cards. They're just not worth it. I mean, I shouldn't say that, I guess. I mean, maybe folded cards are worth still being still. I can't imagine anybody actually selling them online though, just because how do you explain that? I realize your card has a crease down the center, and looks like somebody folded it in half. It's because they did fold it in half in order to build a tower out of it. And I understand that it has a ding in the side of it where someone hit it with a coin. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I have base lands at the bottom of this pile. There's another rare. Unfortunately, it's only worth 60 cents. I mean, I guess if I was selling stuff on TCG Player and I had some extra time, maybe it would be worth listing at 60 cents if that was my plan with these cards. But honestly, there's a lot of options to make money nowadays besides for that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 of these lands that are they're 70 cents each, so that's $4.90. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Because this one's a different land than that one. Doesn't have trees in the background. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. Wait, just 2 of those? Is that right? Yeah. Don't have a lot of that swamp. Ironically, it's probably going to be the cheapest swamp, and I won't have many of it. 2, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if I was right about that one being the cheapest one. I cannot remember what the other one was. 2, 5, 6, 7. 59 cents was not the cheapest one. Now this land still doing this. I don't know. They need to update that on Mana Box. Uh, that land just not scanning right. I have 3 of these lands or islands. Wait, 3 or 4. I think I have 4 of them. I didn't count the one I had over there. 3. I do have 3 of this one. Mountain, $1.09. Oh wait, not that edition mountain, of course. 4. So 4 of this one. This is a bit more expensive at 80 cents for that land. These land cards though are probably going to fluctuate a bit, so I take all of that with a grain of salt. Plus, they're not near mint. 6. Keep on telling myself to trust myself, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 6. Yeah, forests. It's probably going to be the cheapest forest card, the cheapest land card. No, it's actually not. That's kind of weird, but I've never liked that forest. Just looks weird. Uh, like I'd like to say it's like a foggy forest, but it's not really. So it's just a like what is fog's not like greenish colored. I have one. Yeah, the forest nature was in the thing that says $8. We know it's not that. We actually I mentioned that in the other stream or the other part one. It said, "Oh, there's force of nature, and it's not worth anything, even though I kind of thought it was." But there's something. Verdurin Enchantress. Huh. lets you draw a card every time you cast an enchantment. So I guess if you play with a lot of enchantments, then that's a pretty decent card. And we know this land we're going to have to add at the end. Two, three, four. You know, I kind of want to look at that enchantress there. So she was in fourth edition. Yeah, it's a card from Legends. Just always kind of interesting how they took cards from other sets, uh, but they weren't the good cards from the other sets. And then they added them to like fourth edition stuff. Maybe there were a few that were good that they pulled over. I don't know though. Uh, Rebirth. Yeah, it's not worth anything because it's another. So cast it for 6 mana. Each player may be healed to 20 life. Any player choosing to be healed antes an additional card from the top of his or her library. Remove Rebirth from your deck before playing if not playing for ante. So it's another card with ante where we don't use ante anymore. So, you know, I still think it would be kind of cool to take all your ante cards and say, like, hey, we're going to play like a series of games, and every time you use something that has ante in it, right, then that card's no longer going to be in your deck for the next games, right? So you get some very weird situations where, suddenly, you know, someone starts using lots of ante cards and then ends up in situations where in future games they're not as good, or someone like is playing a game where it forces the other player to have to ante a bunch of cards, uh, or like we saw that Ifrit card where you got to pick which card to ante. Oh gosh. Okay. Before calling, 1 sec. Okay. 1 second. I need to get unfortunately when I accept a call, it kicks out of the thing that shares screen. I'm going to try to get that figured out at some point. It's odd that that hasn't happened to me until this stream and the last stream. Uh, just all of a sudden, this seems to be an issue. Okay, Desert Twister. I had one of. And we haven't looked at Wall Vice. Sandstorm, the Crumble. Yeah. My goodness, everything's happening at once. Just started playing in the background. Been watching Dragon Ball uh Super, and that just randomly started playing in the background. Okay. We just looked at Wall of Ice. I'll pull that up again. So 30 cents. Uh, and Desert Twister was 21 cents, I think. May have had that towards the end, but Crumble is uncommon. Four. And Still Energy. That was a card that was worth something. There you go. $1.31. Channel. I feel like Channel should be worth something. I mean, if you look at that card, let's just look. Oh, there's maybe why. It's banned or not legal on a whole bunch of stuff. It's legal in Gladiator and Canadian Highlander, and then restricted in Old School, Timeless, and Vintage. Um, but just kind of it let you pay. You know, you can add a colorless mana to your mana pool at cost of 1 life per 1 mana. Uh, so that's pretty powerful if you're, let's say you're doing trample or drain life, or I think drain life maybe uses black mana specifically though. I don't know about that. But, you know, there's some cards where it's like X, uh, like add XX to your creature's power, and so suddenly you'd be, you know, if you could combine that with a drain or a channel, you know, oh now all my creatures are, you know, +10 +10s because I happen to have a channel uh, for 2 mana, right? Force of Nature, 91 cents. So, has Trample. It's an 8/8 creature for 6 mana, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, if you don't pay the 4 green mana upkeep, and then it deals 8 damage to yourself. So, 7. So maybe makes it there's some other cards out there now that are pretty decent. So I still like the idea of the anti card, so just exiling a card. Maybe it's just because I feel like it would be the ultimate kind of like not just am I countering whatever card like with some of those anti cards, but I'm also going to like counter it for the rest of the time we're playing today. Right? Also would have those antis like that really would make cards like Black Lotus uh maybe a little bit less overpowered, right? Because like your strongest cards, if you have cards that let you pick stuff to ante, right? Then you know those are the cards that probably are going to get hit with ante. Uh and so sure they're strong to start with, but more and more you can't build your deck around relying on those cards. 6, 7, 8. Also, I could see, I could legitimately see a style of Match the Gathering where you're playing uh, anti-type cards, right? And so you're playing up to 60 matches. Well, not quite 60. Like, I mean, I guess it would be 60, but the idea would be like at some point, right? Because you win if your opponent's library runs out, to literally just have it keep on going until you beat your opponent by they run out cards that they can ante. So they're literally their entire deck is out of the game. Like, sure, that would probably be too long for a real tournament. But I think that would be kind of fun if you had like a group of friends to play with. Uh, and all the anti cards are cheap because they're banned in like everything. So, like, could you imagine like a anti version of Commander or something where it's 4 players, so you're like targeting each other, and like your first games are going to be longer, right? But as more and more stuff gets antied from people's decks, right? It's going to be like their cards that maybe sometimes it would get longer because a card that's really powerful that would be ending the game would get antied out of somebody's deck, right? But at the same time, you'd also end up okay, you can't draw 60 cards, right? Uh, because you don't have 60 cards left to draw, right? At some point, you'd end up with, you know, 10 cards left. Okay, I draw 7 for my hand. Maybe I want to, not have 7 in my hand to start with. And so yeah, my mind's going blank on what's called when you uh, put your cards back and then draw 1 less. or an arena, you draw like the arena F. You draw your 7, and then you have to put 1 back into your library or something. I just think that would be kind of fun, maybe. Be fun to test out. I always feel like testing out stuff is fun. Yeah, I am going to be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. So we have our black cards here. Start going through them. I think I will, we're going to have, sorry, I'm actually going to set this as, we will have some black cards. There were something in here. Because we're going to have, some dark ritual skin. I'm calling it. Just because I've seen so many of them at Card Hollow over the years. I think just at the time, uh, at the time they went into Card Hollow, I think they were under $1, and they're now over $1. There we go. Mind Twist, $4.33. I don't pay as much attention to the rares. Yeah, it's just kind of uncommon to see more than one of them. Animate the Undead, I think that's a Animate Dead. That's an uncommon and is worth something. 4th edition, $4.26. Unholy Strength, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, it's not worth anything, but it's kind of funny that they had removed the pentagram from the background of Unholy Strength. Uh, remove the pentagram from the background, and then Earthbind no longer has a naked lady who's tied up. She's not really naked. She's dressed in plants, I think. funnily enough, if you think about it, uh, in a way, most of us are dressed in like cotton is a plant. Wool is not, though. You know, actually had a fun time with oh, what was that vampire game? V Rising that came out. It's hilarious how you need cotton in order to make cotton thread in order to make then you combine it with hide in order to make wool. It's kind of like what? Wool is you don't need any cotton in order to make wool. Like it's just that's why you can have 100% wool. It's just not very comfortable. Depending on the situation, it's not comfortable. It traps heat in. So during the winter, probably pretty good. Although I think when it gets wet, it's not very good at trapping heat. So six copies of fear. So sure, there's just stuff. Okay, there's your dark rituals. So we're going to have some of those. Like I was saying, they're not going to be $13 like the unlimited ones. Let's see, $1.63. I'm curious, is that more or less than revised? Is more than revised, which doesn't really surprise me. It's the same card. It's just better printed on average. So it makes sense that it would be worth just a tiny bit more. Four, five, six copies of Dark Ritual. It doesn't beat our Red Elemental Blast, but I mean that's not bad. Apparently they reprinted Terror a lot of times. Four, five. This could be worth something. Yeah, it's an uncommon worth $2. Hypnotic Scepter or Spectre. It's kind of weird that because it's a 2/2 for 3 mana that has flying. That forces a discard if a player takes damage. I mean, so is that really? I I'm surprised I only have one copy of that. I mean, never know though. Sometimes I get these a little bit mixed up, and so it could be one copy because I have other copies. Uh, but I do think with my uncommons, I might just not have had a whole lot. Dark Ritual, that I mean, that's probably what it is. Dark Ritual is a common. There probably are just more than printed. So I probably shouldn't be that surprised that I only have one of a common. I would not think, like, if I saw that card, uh, I could see people pretty easily not realizing that that's worth $2. But I guess not if it's uncommon. I'm kind of excited about is I'm going to get through all these cards. I know I will before next Gen Con. I'm interested to see what I pull out at next Gen Con. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I think that'll be the real. I kind of wish I had kept these separate from the last Gen Con just to show what it was that I was getting out of there this last Gen Con. Unfortunately, I didn't really think about it. Uh, should have. 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I was saying, that down to 20% battery. I started at like 30. So, but this I need to figure out a better setup because this setup drains battery on the phone I'm using really fast. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Copies of Drudge Skeleton. Frozen Shade. Yeah, you can tell with no, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 copies of Frozen Shade. There's just got a little bit distracted with I'll show you guys in just a moment. This top corner, I don't know if you can really see that right there. Uh like there you can kind of see that that's taking a couple hits from a coin. Uh, at least one big hit or three, maybe three small hits where that was in a tower. Kind of like the saying on this card, war is no picnic, my father liked to say. But the ants seem to disagree. This is one of those cards like that channel would have an impact because like right if you have two forests and two black, you can get this card out. It comes in with summoning sickness, untaps. Right now, I could play channel right for my 2 green mana, and then I could just attack and use any amount of my life to pay for +1/+1s on carrion ants as it attacks the other player. So, oh, you blocked with a 2/2 creature. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to do that, but like if I had trample, I mean, my goodness. Especially once there's a green card that came out. It gives like all creatures of a certain type X, like plus X and trample. Uh, so especially if I had like two carrion ants out. Oh, my carrion ants, all of them have, both of them have trample, and I'm using 12 life, so they're now all 12 13s, and they're just going to run you over because even if you block with a 2/2 creature, they're still each going to deal 2 life to you. Like, so we're getting into blue. I had a feeling like I want to say I think blue is what I had the most of in fourth edition. Now, want to say it's what I think will have the best cards in it. Like I noticed another like magical hack, or maybe even two magical hacks in here, which I'm pretty sure is worth something. Things like that. So I was thinking that blue was going to be the most expensive, like the best color in fourth edition, but I don't think it's going to be able to overcome those red elemental blasts. I mean, I will say we have just a lot of, I think, uncommons in here. So maybe I just leaned towards picking up more blue cards. I don't know. Just because I figured, you automatically have counters in there. And since the very beginning, blue's kind of being considered one of the better colors. 4, 5, 6. Feel like I might have screwed up because I think I might have had more feedbacks somewhere. So yes, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 giant tortoises. Just want to make sure I'm not holding those magical hacks on the bottom here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sunken cities. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 copies of Flight. Which could be worse. Right? Could be, those all could be jump. There's their magical hacks, and we have a stasis here, which I think is going to be worth something. I think fourth edition might have it drop down in price. Yeah. If that was fifth edition, it would be over $5. It's not though, so it's $4.75. I mean, $12 worth of cards. That's the equivalent of three, a little better than three of those red elemental blasts. Huh. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 apprentice wizards. That just needs like a second ability. 11 copies of erosion. Right, like if you're going to be a apprentice wizard and you're turning blue mana into uh colorless mana, you would think there'd be a second ability where you tap and turn, let's say, 3 colorless mana into uh either a blue mana or any color mana, right? Like that could have been really cool. I guess if you're Magic the Gathering, you need common cards that really aren't that good. I'm really curious why. What is with this? So it's not legal. Into the graveyard. Creature bond deals damage equal to the creature's toughness to the creature's controller. Like that just seems like so I enchant a creature, throw, you know, colossification on it, and then throw something on it that puts it into the graveyard, right? And I win, right? I don't know. It just seems weird that that's the considered the worst. Like it's the least expensive card in these, at least. I mean, maybe there's just maybe I'm not aware there's later cards where it's like 1 mana and does the same type of thing. Uh, 5 copies of Mind Bomb. Although, so does that say creature's owner to that creature's controller? Too bad it's not owner. So, that would make that yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If it was creature's owner, uh could you imagine the hijinks with yeah, right there, control magic. Oh yeah, I hit you with creature bond, and then I control your creature, and so you try and kill your creature is going to deal damage to you. And now I'm going to enchant your creature and make it super powerful and have it kill you. Or you can kill your creature and it'll kill you anyway. Like, yeah, control magic is a card that's just over $1. So I want to say steel artifact might be another card that's decent. Gain control of target artifact. Ah, nope. Well, this one is. Send all of a player's artifacts back to their hand. I mean, I guess it's half the cost to steal artifacts, so. So that's another $4 worth of cards. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay. I don't know if anybody's actually going to watch these and pay attention to stuff, but I think that's the first time, maybe either the first or second time. I was hoping those blue elemental blasts were going to be worth something, but they're not. Okay, so I mean they're worth 59 cents, which is something. It's just not over $1. Now that was the second time where I've like recounted something, and I think either first or second time I've recounted something. I'm like, oh, that is definitely wrong. Uh, it wasn't just wrong because I didn't count the one over here. 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. Probably a bad thing because now I'm going to be recounting all of these and say, no, I don't trust myself anymore. 2 coffees of energy tap. 6. 6 copies of Siren's Call. All of target's opponents can attack must do so. Okay. $14 copper. So twiddle. Seems like it would be a great card, but yeah. 3 copies of Unstable Mutation. Watch. I'm surprised I have that feel. Yeah, Twiddle seems like it would be a great card. You can do all types of different things with it. You know, tap or untap, anything. Yeah, but 4, 5, 6, 7. Problem is, like, can tapping or untapping something really cause? I mean, for a few cards, it can screw up a lot just because they have additional like costs and difficulties with tapping and untapping them. Um, you know, a card where it costs a whole bunch to be able to untap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 copies of Power League, right? Like suddenly you could play Twiddle and untap that without you know, potentially paying that cost. But problem is it's card. So like unless you have a way of drawing like every single card out there and you know it's just not going to like a single twiddle versus so many other cards that are out there that are better and going to get you closer to winning the game. You know that's interesting that sleight of mind, right? So this changes the color word with another. And magical hack changes the land basic land type with another. Right? So yeah. Well, and our last card, of course, Sea Serpent, which we have a ton of all the time. So that's all of it. So, I mean, we have like for part two, came back, found quite a few cards under $5. Um, you know, part one, I think we had just those elemental red elemental blast, 9 of them for $4, and a Goblin King in red. When you know that's just pretty good. So did blue outdo it? So 5. I want to say this was another maybe what $13, $14. So it's $19 maybe. Let's just round up to $20 worth of blue cards. Uh, that's 5 red elemental blasts there. So and we had 9. So black we had the hypnotic scepter, which I think was $2. The dark rituals, which are a dollar something. I mean, we had quite a few dark rituals. The Animate Dead, which was, I think, a decent price. Same with Mind Twist. But still not beating those other ones. And then green, which just didn't have 2 cards. So, not that much. Colorless. I don't even think green beat the colorless cards. Even though I think I want to say almost all these colorless cards were close to $1. Felwar Stone might have been $1.50 or something. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get this moved over. Be nice if I can actually show a stream with everything here. Uh, Definitely more cards in this in part two that had that were over $1. But we also went through quite a few more cards. There are two top cards: Armageddon, Goblin King. Right, those are definitely the top cards. We're going to add this to the collection. Fourth edition, right there. We're going to go back into that collection. Now we do have one more thing to do. We have this one land that we're going to have to manually add. As an island. Yeah, we know it's this island. We know it's just a basic island. A fourth edition right there, basic island. We had one copy of it. And we want to go ahead and add it. Did I add it? There we go. Sort by create date. Oops. Okay. Edit. -1. We added it twice. Okay. There you go. 60-cent card. 60-cent. Yeah. 66-cent card. There. We're over 2,000 now. Fourth edition actually beating out everything but revised here. Uh, Red Elemental Blast took over the top. But, I mean, the other thing is, it's also another almost 300 cards more than Mirage and Ice Age. Quite a bit more than Tempest and Fallen and Visions. I mean, those just didn't have a lot of cards for those. So it kind of makes sense. That would be up there. So I think this is our why do I feel like I don't have enough Red Elemental Blast showing here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. We have another one somewhere in there. 8, 9, right? Okay. We're going to call that done on the stream for 4th edition. And we'll back do another one of these sets. We have some other sets.